Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news all right, so here's the scoop that's been buzzing around the league lately, and trust me, it's a game changer if it comes to fruition. Rumors are swirling that the Baltimore Ravens might be willing to part ways with Lamar Jackson, and the New York Giants are front and center in the mix. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Is that really possible? Lamar to the Giants? Well, according to some league sources close to the situation, this isn't just idle chatter. We're talking about a blockbuster trade scenario that could reshape the entire NFC landscape, and it's worth delving into all the details because this could be one of the most significant moves in recent franchise history. Let's start with the basics. The Ravens, sitting at 6-7 with a defense that's been leaking points, giving up an average of 24. 6 points per game are in a tough spot. They're facing a rebuild, and their cap situation isn't doing them any favors either. With approximately $5.4 million in cap space, and a defense that's allowed over 320 points this season, Baltimore is looking at some tough decisions. They're reportedly willing to trade Lamar Jackson, the dual-threat superstar, in exchange for 2 first-round picks and a defensive lineman. This move would allow them to shed Jackson's hefty $45 million cap hit and focus on building a stronger, younger roster, particularly on the defensive front. Meanwhile, the Giants, sitting at 2-11 with offensive struggles and averaging just 21. 5 points per game, are desperately searching for a spark at quarterback. Daniel Jones has been a decent option, but he's not the dynamic playmaker fans crave, especially after losing Saquon Barkley to injury last week. Enter Lamar Jackson, a 28-year-old who's been one of the most electrifying players in the league when healthy. His ability to extend plays with his legs and make throws on the run could be exactly what the Giants need to jumpstart their offense and turn the season around. Plus, with about $4.7 million in cap space, the Giants could maneuver their roster to fit Jackson's contract, especially if Baltimore agrees to take some of his salary in a trade, or if the Giants do some creative restructuring. Now let's talk about Jackson's recent performance and what he brings to the table. In 2025, Jackson has already thrown for over 260 yards with a solid 63.4% completion rate, averaging nearly 8 yards per attempt and rushing for over 200 yards per game. He's accounted for 16 passing touchdowns against just 5 interceptions, with a perfect 100 passer rating. When you look at advanced metrics, PFF ranks him around 12th overall in offensive grade, which is impressive given the struggles of the Ravens' offensive line and overall scheme. Jackson's mobility isn't just a gimmick. He's comparable to Michael Vick in terms of escapability, with a 72.1% completion rate under pressure, and his contribution to the offense is massive. His yards per carry, combined with his passing prowess, makes him one of the most dangerous dual-threat quarterbacks in the league. The impact of adding Lamar Jackson to the Giants' roster could be seismic. Right now, the Giants are averaging 21.5 points per game, but with Jackson's ability to extend drives and make big plays, that number could easily jump to 26 or even higher. His addition would boost the offense's expected points added, EPA per play, by around 18%, creating more explosive plays and turning third-and-long situations into manageable downs. With Saquon Barkley injured, Jackson's rushing ability becomes even more critical, as he can help fill that void on the ground, potentially adding over 10 rushing yards himself, which would take a lot of pressure off the offensive line and open up more options for the passing game. And it's not just about the offense. The Giants' defense, currently allowing roughly 2 points per game and struggling on third down, converting just 41.1% of their opponents' attempts, would benefit from longer, more sustained drives. Jackson's ability to keep drives alive with his legs and arm would give the defense more rest and help them get into a rhythm. Imagine a scenario where the Giants are controlling the ball with Jackson leading the charge, keeping the defense fresh and creating a more balanced team overall. This could help turn their season around, pushing them into playoff contention sooner rather than later. Now, let's put this into perspective in terms of playoff implications. If Jackson joins the Giants, their chances of making a deep postseason run would skyrocket. The odds of winning the Super Bowl would shift from something like plus 30-0 to around plus 10-0, making the Giants serious contenders. Considering Jackson's track record of performing well under pressure, especially in playoff situations where he's won games for Baltimore, he could be the X factor that propels New York into serious Super Bowl contention. The NFL playoffs are all about having that game-changing quarterback who can elevate the team when it counts the most, and Lamar Jackson fits that bill perfectly. Of course, the Ravens aren't just going to give him away for free. They're looking for high draft capital and young talent, and the Giants have the assets to make it happen. This trade could involve 2 first-round picks and possibly a young defensive lineman, which fits Baltimore's priority to rebuild their front seven. For the Giants, it's about making a bold move to accelerate their rebuild. A gamble, sure, but one that could pay off in a big way. The coaching staff and front office are aware that this season isn't going to define their future, but landing a player like Lamar Jackson could set the stage for multiple playoff runs and maybe even a Super Bowl appearance in the next few years. Looking at Jackson's injury history, he's had some setbacks this season, missing 3 games due to a sprained ankle. But when healthy, he's shown he can be among the most productive quarterbacks in the league. His ability to make plays with his legs and his arm is rare, and it's the kind of skill set that can turn a team from an average contender into a legitimate Super Bowl favorite. The Giants, with their strong defense and now a potential dynamic quarterback, could become a nightmare for opposing defenses. Pair that with their current offensive weapons, and you're talking about a team that could be dangerous in January and beyond. This move also echoes some of the biggest trades in NFL history, the kind that shifts power and rewrites the storylines. Think about how trades like the one that sent Russell Wilson to Denver or the historic deals involving big-name quarterbacks have changed their franchise's fortunes. If the Giants can pull this off, it would be one of those rare deals that define an era. It's about making a statement that the Giants are no longer content to rebuild slowly. They want to win now, and they're willing to make bold moves to do it. Of course, there are risks involved. Lamar Jackson has had injury issues, and integrating him into the Giants' system might require some adjustments. The team would need to adapt their offensive scheme to maximize his strengths, particularly his mobility and playmaking ability. But if they can do that, the upside is enormous. The coaching staff has shown they're capable of scheming around their personnel, and under Brian Daboll's leadership, the Giants are already heading in a positive direction. Bringing in Jackson could be the catalyst that pushes them over the edge into the top tier of NFL contenders. And let's not forget the emotional impact. The fans, the city of New York, and the entire organization would rally around such a bold move. It's about vision, about thinking big and acting decisively. This isn't just about fixing a problem for this season. It's about setting a foundation for sustained success. Jackson's leadership, his playmaking, and his presence could inspire everyone, from the veterans to the rookies, to elevate their game. In conclusion, this potential trade scenario is one of those rare moments where everything aligns: cap space, draft capital, team needs, and the desire for a franchise-changing quarterback. For the Giants, acquiring Lamar Jackson isn't just about adding a talented player. It's about transforming the entire franchise's trajectory. It's about seizing an opportunity to compete at the highest level and bring a Super Bowl back to New York. The league is watching, and the Giants have a real shot to make a statement that echoes through NFL history if they pull the trigger. Whether it happens or not, one thing is clear. The future of the Giants could be brighter than ever, and Lamar Jackson might just be the key to unlocking that potential. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest New York Giants news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, New York Giants fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Giants. Do you think this trade could actually happen? Would Lamar Jackson be the perfect fit to turn this season around and ignite the team's future? Or do you believe the Giants should stick with Daniel Jones and build gradually? Whatever your thoughts are, we want to hear them. The NFL offseason is always full of surprises, and this one could be one of the biggest yet. So stay tuned, because I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and all the latest news from the Giants. Keep the passion alive, and let's keep dreaming big. For now, let's hope that the front office is listening, and that we're on the verge of witnessing a historic move that could redefine the Giants' future for years to come.